Hi everyone, this is Jennifer with My Creative Crafting, and today I'm going to show you how I hoop my onesies. I guess I don't actually hoop them, I guess that's the trick. I use the, you can either use sticky stabilizer or I just use the spray temporary adhesive on the stabilizer for the onesie itself. I don't hoop them, it's too much trouble, and this way it takes a little bit more time, but it's going to be right every time. You have a little bit more control over, in my opinion, where everything lays out. So the first thing I do is I find the middle of the onesie and I pin it. You can use a marker, however you like. I just like the pins. I don't have to mess with marking anything. Then I turn it inside out and I take out one seam of my onesie. On this onesie, on this side, it already has the seam where it's cut. So, see here? You're just going to take your seam ripper, or I broke all of mine. So, I had these little scissors, and I just cut the threads out, and I just open it up from the very bottom to the very top of your sleeve here. So I take the entire thing out, and once we're finished, I just serge it back closed again. You can zigzag stitch it if you don't have a serger. That'll work perfectly fine too. So either way. Okay, so when you're done, you're gonna have a big old hole just like this in your onesie. And it's gonna make a lot of mess. What I do is I just take all those little pieces. You're gonna have lots and lots of little pieces, and I just kind of pick it like this, and they all come out. You want to make sure you get all those out, because when you serge it up or stitch it up, you don't want all those little hairs or threads popping out. You can trim it up too if you get more. So, okay, so this way, when you lay the top of your onesie down on your hoop and your stabilizer, nothing is going to be stretched. I noticed that if I try to hoop a onesie without cutting the side off, it's gonna stretch, and then when you're just gonna stitch it when it's stretched, and then when you take it out, it's gonna be all bunchy around certain stitches. So really, to get a clean stitch, this is my preferred way to do it. I didn't go over what I used for all this. I use the Silky Soft and Sheer stabilizer. I use Cutaway. Always use Cutaway on stretch knits, in my opinion. Onesies, t-shirts, things like that. In my opinion, use Cutaway. It doesn't move while you're stitching. It doesn't tear while you're stitching, and that's what happened to me in the beginning, and I went through a lot of these onesies before I figured out the right way to do it. And I just use this craft bond. I might get some people say a big no-no, but this has worked perfectly fine for me. It doesn't gum up my needles or anything. I spray a very light layer on my stabilizer, and I kind of let it dry just a couple seconds, and then I lay it down on my onesie, down on it, so it doesn't stick forever. So it's temporary. And this is a piece of chalk. Sometimes I will just run a straight line through, because I like to line up, because on your hoop, well, I have a Singer Futura, so on my large hoop, I have these little notches on the top and bottom, and I like to make sure everything is nice and in the middle and even. So that's what I usually will do that. Now this here, my box, it's just an old formula box I had. I stick my hoop in here when I'm spraying, because the spray can kind of get everywhere. So get yourself an old box of some kind and to stick your hoop in while you're spraying it with the glue. You also want to use a ballpoint needle. You have to have a ballpoint needle when you're stitching on stretch knits, onesies, shirts, anything that's stretchy. If not, you are going to get holes all over your design. I ruined about 5 of those before I figured that out. So if you use this method, I'm almost positive you're going to get a perfect result every time. I have not ruined one since, knock on wood, since I've been doing this way. Okay, so now I'm going to take my box, take my glue, just spray a nice, you know, just spray it, not heavily. I just give it a quick spray just like that. And see, the box will keep all that extra spray from going all over your craft room. And then I take it out of the box and I just kind of fan it like this. It doesn't make it so sticky where I won't be able to move my onesie once it's placed down. Stick that to the side. Put this down. And with this spray, the bottom is not sticky, so it won't stick to your machine or anything. And to get the stickiness off the sides of your hoop, no big deal. Get yourself some spray Goo Gone. Put this in the sink. Spray your Goo Gone over it. Let it sit 5 minutes. Wipe it off, and it's perfectly brand new. So that's another thing I learned. Okay, turn your onesie inside out. I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing this to the side because I'm sitting to the side because the camera. Turn your onesie inside out because you're going to want the top of the onesie to be facing up. And what I do is I line up that pin to the top, right to the top. I wonder if you can see that. I line my pin right to the top of that notch on my hoop. Okay. Make sure it's nice and flat. And then my second pin, I line up with my bottom notch here. Okay. Just take that out. Alrighty. Then you can just kind of smooth out your sides. I'm going to smooth everything real nice. See, this way it's nice and open. This is a 12-month size onesie, by the way. I'm making a fairly large design on it. And smooth it out real nice. So that when you put this on your embroidery machine, it's all open. You're not worrying about trying to move things. And so, to me, this is the easiest way to do it. Then I take my excess and I usually will just roll it. I highly suggest pinning it away so it doesn't accidentally get stuck underneath your hoop and you embroider through the other side. I've done that also. So just roll it and pin it. Take the couple seconds to roll it and pin it away so you don't have to worry about that happening to you. A lot of my mistakes, I've learned from a lot of my mistakes, and we all kind of make the same mistakes in the beginning, I've seemed to find. So, and it's okay. You just start over again, and, you know, nobody's perfect. So, and I just like pin it right there. And then you can also pin right to the hoop itself. So, like, see how this is kind of pulling a little bit, and it's kind of coming away from the stabilizer? You just, I'm going to take a smaller pin. By the way, this is a little magnetic pin holder my mother-in-law gave me with a big old box of serging stuff and a serger, and I absolutely love this. I think this is genius. And so you can pin your fabric right to the bottom in the corners, so you know that this isn't going to move either. I do all 4 corners, especially the ones that pull, because you're going to have some that pull. Like I said, it takes a little bit longer, but it's going to be worth it in the long run because you're not going to have to redo your design again. And if you have to pull it over again, I think I might pin it one more time to get it over. There you go. And that is a onesie. This onesie I bought at Hobby Lobby, and it was $3.99, and it's actually a really good quality and quality fabric. I usually use Gerber, but I was at Hobby Lobby and didn't want to run to the store. But I'm actually I'm happy with the way that this onesie is. So there we go. Now we're going to go over to the embroidery machine, and I'm going to do the embroidery in the applique. And that is how I hoop my onesies. Also check out my blog for other how-tos and videos. It's mycreativecrafting.blogspot.com. And if you're a Google user, I have a follow me button too that you can also follow me so you get updates on any new videos that I make. Thanks so much for watching.